So Jeremy he is one of the professors in Stanford University, and he started something amazing. He started what is called as virtual human interaction lab there. He spent 20 years there. And the whole idea of that lab was something meaningful, which is he was looking at how can virtual reality be used in the field of science, in the field of medicine, in the field of children, and ensuring that how can they be cured of certain pain or the trauma that they go through. So that's what he did, okay? And today I really see a great usage of that. So in US, for example, there are hospitals, and one of the hospitals is what we call as, Nationwide Children's Hospital, which specializes in hematology. And what you see is typically when you have an injury and the blood comes out, clotting is important. And what if the clotting doesn't take place? You really need to go through a painful needling process. And when you go through a painful needling process for children, I mean, there is obviously an issue. And imagine those children being equipped with VR glasses, where they can wear the VR glasses and get transposed to a very, very different world. They get into Disneyland, they get into different parks, they get to London, they get to play their favorite games. And what you see during that process is that the pain of those children gets down by about 25–30%. Isn't that cool? Right? So that's what we will talk about. And I think few things that I will cover is XR for good, extended reality for good. We'll talk about how extended reality is transforming the way we work, the way we play, and the way we interact. We will also talk about some of the pitfalls that you should be avoiding in this space, and more importantly, what does the future hold for you? Now, talking about extended reality for good, I think it's important to look at, let's talk about theater, right? And I want to look at how technology is being used for good in theater industry. Theater is in UK, millions of people get to theater. They want to see the theater. But what you see is it sometimes becomes difficult for people who are hard of hearing to enjoy the theater. And there are very, very few places which can be, where they can go and enjoy. I will just show you a video that gives you an idea about how extended reality can transform the world for them.
What you would see is captions only appearing on the screen, so only you can see them. The people next to you can't see them.
The captions come up in perfect sync with the actors, which gives a much better experience for everybody. You can have a text scrolling.
There can be different sizes.
You can choose the colour of the subtitles.
But then he said, is your husband or partner on his or her way?
You said no, because he's in Geneva watching protons collide, because apparently that's more important than the book.
It's light, you barely notice that you're wearing it.
The text was directly in the eye line.
Really responsive.
Really discreet, easy to use.
It felt pretty seamless, really.
It's pretty cool.
The feedback from today has been outstanding.
It's innovation both in how we think about our audiences and in the technology. It's exactly what the National Theatre is and what we want to be, making great work and making it available to everyone.
Yep, so that's a great use of what technology is being used for. Now you see there are startup companies, we know some of them in UK, Oxide, which is doing something amazing. Again, people who are technically blind or people who have tunnel deficiencies, tunnel syndrome, where they cannot have a full view of the landscape around them, they are actually trying to enhance their vision by either increasing the depth of perception or they are also working on the color management, right? Foreground, background, enhancing certain colors, depth, and all of that. So I think they're doing something quite amazing in this space. Let's talk about, when we talk about world of extended reality, obviously it's a world which goes beyond the physical reality, and you're looking at how does the physical reality get into the space of virtual reality. So the entire spectrum, we think there are three big elements there. One is what we say as assisted reality, and assisted reality is a place where you would have something like field workers wearing smart glasses. They can be wearing Google glasses, they can be wearing Vuzix, RealWear, and whatnot, and they can perform some amazing work on the field. So as an example, someone can go to an electric transformer and taking a reading, and at the same time getting on-the-job information about how those, not only the readings, but also the surrounding ecosystem environment and whatnot. So they will get assisted on the job then and there itself. So that's assisted reality for you. Then you've got augmented reality, which is simple. You look at smartphones putting on an object. So as an example, you're trying to buy a furniture. You go to an IKEA store. You look at the furniture. You have an image of your home, and you look at the furniture 3D. You look at, you go around the furniture and look at exactly the environment in which the furniture will get placed at home, right? So that's augmented reality. And then obviously there are many, many other use cases of augmented reality. Virtual reality, obviously, you know how it can be used in either gaming or entertainment industry where you're completely cut off from the world, but in a world where you can really look at art of possible. We think possibilities of virtual reality, again, is immense. As an example, you can look at virtual reality in training field. You can go to oil drills. You can go to aircraft hangars, aircraft manufacturing, situations where you would not have easy access to those places. How can you use a virtual reality environment to train different people? And it's just not training in those high-end environments. It's also for training of children in different environments. So extended reality, essentially, as we see today, is becoming a part of your day-to-day life, the way you live, the way you work, and the way you play. And what I talk about, from a living perspective, a couple of things. One is, obviously, we talked about examples of how it is used in the medicinal conditions. It is also about your entertainment. It is also about your experience, right, day-to-day experience. So let's look at an example where we will talk about how extended reality is being used to transform the life. Some of the things that we take for granted. As an example, you take your hand for granted. You have 5 fingers, you've got 15 joints, you've got about 20 degrees of freedom, right, in your hand. And it gets injured. And when it gets injured, it takes almost 6 months to about a year to recoup, right? And you have to go through a painful process. You have to visit the therapist multiple times. You have to visit the doctor. You have to follow the advice. He gives you instructions to how to exercise and whatnot. And then you realize that you're not following it on a day-to-day basis. But imagine a different world where you are able to gamify this entire approach and are able to create a treatment which is going to really help the patients in those scenarios. Okay, so let's watch a video which will give you that perspective. It's a video which
do
is...
Hospital das Clínicas de São Paulo vai ajudar de uma forma nova a reabilitação de pessoas que perderam movimentos do corpo.
Era uma festa de aniversário de criança, mas quando o desafio de um engenheiro se junta com o de um fisioterapeuta, não há guardanapo que resista.
Eu tinha 5 dias para chegar numa solução que tinha a ver com saúde, aí eu fui atrás do meu cunhado que trouxe inspiração para a gente fazer isso, tinha que ser na festa de aniversário da filha dele, né?
Assim nasceu o esboço de um projeto de ponta e muito barato para ajudar na reabilitação de acidentados e deficientes físicos.
O processo de reabilitação, né, envolvendo exercícios de fisioterapia ou exercício de terapia ocupacional, né, a gente necessita que o paciente realize esse exercício de forma contínua.
1 ano e meio depois, aquela conversa na festa de aniversário já é realidade aqui no Instituto de Ortopedia do Hospital das Clínicas de São Paulo. Realidade virtual, mexendo com a vida real de pessoas que perderam movimentos do corpo. Francisco era cirurgião, ficou tetraplégico num acidente durante um treino de luta marcial. Há mais de 1 ano, ele faz terapias de reabilitação, necessárias, mas cansativas.
No começo você faz tudo, mas com o passar do tempo, essa repetição se torna bem maçante.
Que tal, então, fazer os exercícios assim, jogando?
Isso me ajudou bastante, sou bem mais independente agora. Eu consigo me movimentar sozinho, alimentar, escovar os dentes, pentear cabelo, tudo isso eu consegui com a ajuda da terapia ocupacional e da fisioterapia e fortalecendo com essa realidade virtual.
Esses óculos de realidade virtual são feitos de papelão, com lentes que custam R$10, mas podem ser feitos até com fundo de garrafa PET. Uma versão de baixo custo do bracelete que capta os impulsos elétricos do paciente que está jogando vem sendo desenvolvida no laboratório, que já faz próteses baratas em impressoras 3D. A equipe que está trabalhando no laboratório de reabilitação vai disponibilizar de graça o aplicativo do jogo, que poderá ser baixado em qualquer celular. O produto, ainda em desenvolvimento, já está chamando a atenção em feiras de tecnologia como essa em Dubai. O empenho agora é para finalizar o projeto e espalhar a novidade.
Levar essa tecnologia para o SUS, ou seja, mesmo remotamente, o paciente que esteja em outro estado, ou que esteja em outro lugar, que ele tenha acesso a isso, que ele possa fazer os treinos dele junto com o profissional que estiver acompanhando, né?
Okay. So that's again a great example of how you can really use gaming technology, virtual reality to really help the people in a very different conditions. Let's talk about transforming work. And I think this is something which will be applicable in industrial scenario. Let me take an example from an ASEAN, from a Far East country, Philippines, where they were going through a network transformation, 3G to 4G, network transformation. Which also meant that they really had to, 3G to 4G is a big transformation. At the same time, you need to do it with the field engineers who are highly equipped in doing that work. Not many of them are available in the market. You need to do at a quality. You need to do it at a cost price which is minimal. Let's look at this example and see how smart glasses really helped bring down not only the cost, but also improve the quality of what got done.
Network deployment programs come with a complex execution. Whether it is planning, design, or field installations, unforeseen circumstances can occur and jeopardize quality outcomes, bringing delays and increasing costs during execution. To meet the demand of implementing next-generation networks such as 5G, network builders find themselves facing additional challenges, putting pressure on their margins. Teams developed digital applications and capabilities for a network workforce running on multiple devices. The on-site check-in for delivered materials has been automated, and thanks to barcode scanning, the digital control room team can be quickly made aware of any issues that crop up. Daily team meetings for security and administration are coordinated utilizing digital forms. Digital smart procedures enrich the workforce experience through multimedia content and standardized workflows. Over-the-shoulder support provides remote guidance, real-time feedback, and automated quality checks by digital enablement center specialists.
Okay. I think let's look at the last segment of this, which is extended reality for play. And one of my favorite segments, because I'm going to be talking about an example which is very, very different than the virtual reality examples that you have seen in the past, where you're completely cut off from the world, you play a game, but that's an imaginary game. I'm going to be talking to you something, I'll talk to you about a phygital game, right? A game which is getting played now, and then you are able to play that in the virtual world. How many of you are not fans of cricket here? 10%. So you need to listen to this example more carefully, okay? So imagine that you are a part of IPL 2018, okay? Just got concluded. You're part of IPL 2018. And this is a match being played between Mumbai Indians and RCB. And imagine Jasprit Bumrah. He's just finished bowling over number 3 to Virat Kohli. He's just finished bowling over number 3. And now imagine you going to a mall. You get an opportunity to wear a virtual headset, and you getting an opportunity to play exactly the same over, just minutes after it was bowled, same speed, same trajectory, same match conditions, same 6 balls, and you get an opportunity to compare your score with Virat Kohli's. Wouldn't that be cool? That is a real phygital experience, okay? And is it imaginary? It's not imaginary. We actually did this for IPL 2018. As Accenture, we did this for IPL 2018 in exactly 4 weeks, okay? And interesting thing about this is, as soon as we launched it, within a span of 1 week, we had about 60,000 people coming to mall. Exactly 1 week, 60,000 people coming to mall. A lot of people like you who would want to play cricket but could not play cricket and want to play against the best of the best bowlers, right? Experiencing that game in the mall. So next time you get a chance, see that. I would just want to play a promotional video of what Hotstar put in its channel during IPL 2018 about this particular work. So watch this video. Interesting, isn't it? So after all the work, play, and fun or life, let's talk about some of the things that become a distraction in this area. So obviously, when I talk about distraction, with every new technology that comes into picture, you really need to be careful about some of the things which you should not be doing. So look at what happened to Amazon Go. Sorry, I meant Pokemon Go, right? Pokemon Go, okay? Pokemon Go had a great, I think while it was famous, it was also infamous. And for a lot of reasons, right? It was famous for, or infamous for reasons that people went into unknown territories, people actually got into surroundings where they should not have been, people got into trespassing properties where they should not have done, they were crossing roads when they should not have done, all of that. So a lot of distractions in the process. Simulator sickness, virtual reality headsets, I think they have not matured to a point. You wear a virtual reality headset for a period of time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you can get sickness and you need to be careful about. There are no device rules in terms of how much time you should wear and whatnot. So there are some guidelines required around that. Addiction and extended reality, or this is just not restricted to extended reality. It is for digital technologies as a whole itself, right? How do you really ensure that you're not addicted to it beyond a point? And last but not the least, the most important one, the behavior modeling, which is you don't want this to be getting in the wrong hands. So for example, if you have expert jobs which are getting trained, where people are getting trained using extended reality, firefighting situations, assembling an aircraft, detonating a bomb, looking at oil rig scenarios, working in high, for example, pump scenarios. How do you ensure that those kind of situations do not fall in the hands of commoners? Expert jobs are to be done by expert people and should not be falling in the hands of commoners. So it's important to look at those behaviors as well. In terms of industry, as we expand into this area, two segments that I look at. One segment I look at is enterprise segment, which is where enterprises can make best use of it. So you see product design, you look at digital worker learning, insights, digital workplace. Product design is where you would actually create beautiful workspaces. It can be you are creating a warehouse, you are creating an innovation center. You can use these technologies to really imagine the art of possible and then create that. Digital worker, we talked about examples such as what we talked in Philippines. Learning situations, fantastic learning situations where you can pretty much create a simulation of an oil rig, middle of a sea, and have give the trainings to those people in terms of how they really get trained in dealing with the different situations there. So those kind of learnings from an enterprise perspective. Insights and data decisioning, which is bringing data to life, not just looking at data in dashboards and visualizing that data, but actually looking the data right in front of you. How do you really ensure that you are able to see data right in front of you and able to make meanings of that? A digital workplace where you are able to collaborate effectively amongst people and parties located in different parts of the world, getting them into a virtual space, a virtual collaborative space, and are able to design beautiful products and services. For example, you can collaborate with different designers across the world and create a beautiful car, right? So how do you really do that? So those are the beautiful examples that we see on the enterprise space. And then you have customer space where you can enable the customers to do informed buying, have beautiful experiences, and then look at the support as a mechanism. As I conclude, let me talk about two things. One is extended reality for real? Absolutely it is, okay? And if people are not invested in it now, they will find it difficult to invest at some point of time. There are some things which are getting matured. For example, the networks moving from 4G to 5G, cost of the devices coming down, looking at how does the content get created in virtual reality space. I think those things are working out well, but what is becoming more important is how do you really apply it in future. We think it will get applied in future, and moving from right to left, if you're looking at games, you could, instead of watching a game on your television, you can pretty much decide to go to a part of the stadium. You can decide stadium, which seat do I want to take virtually, and you should be in a position to watch the game sitting in the stadium on the seat that you decide. So those kind of things will come. On the work front, you would, as I said, the examples of virtually collaborating, I think the world will become more and more flatter. You would see more of virtual collaboration coming in. And finally, I think there will be a huge impact on the educational sector where this generation, next generation would be seeing a lot more of, learning which is happening right in front of them. Instead of learning through the books or learning through mobile phones, etc., they would actually start seeing a lot of real-life learning. For example, in medicine field, human anatomy, people would be in a position to actually see the human skeleton and the body composition and see how do you really apply it there. Finally, I think as we look at the world beyond, if you look at 2023, Elon Musk has already said that he is going to be launching the SpaceX project, would be having the first billionaire from Japan to be, he would be going on a private aircraft, private spacecraft to moon. I'm sure there is an app, there is an extended reality, virtual reality lab which is designing this for 2023 for you to create that experience, and that will become live in 2023. But extended reality is, in that form, it is for not only dreaming, it is also for making you realize those dreams, just like what Elon Musk is doing. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Any questions for Sridhar?
What do you mean by zero office environments in that slide?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. When you talk about zero office environment, it is about virtual collaborative spaces at work where you're looking at, instead of people coming to physical environment to collaborate and work together, you have a virtual environment in which people can join, work together, and design, as I said, beautiful products and services.
Hello. Here. So actually, I heard one more reality term yesterday, that is mixed reality. So how will you differentiate mixed reality with the extended reality?
Yeah, I think, again, mixed reality is a part of extended reality. And in mixed reality, what you're talking about is looking at the gestures also, right? Mixed reality is just not looking at things virtually, but also looking at how do you really induce your actions, motions, and have those tracking technologies for you to really effectively experience the surroundings around you. So something like Microsoft HoloLens, right, that will fall exactly in the mixed reality space. We put that in the augmented reality space, right? Assisted reality space, where you can pretty much also experience that as well.